Hey everybody. So today I wanted to talk about a pretty cool study that came out fairly recently, I think a couple weeks ago or so. That basically, I believe it was a meta-analysis, and a meta-analysis is kind of a study of studies. So it's not like a double-blind placebo trial where they take a group of people and they give them the treatment, and then they take a group of people that don't get the treatment and they compare them. This was a study that studied other studies, and meta-analyses are good for seeing like broad trends. So basically what this showed was that exercise works better than both counseling and medication for depression, anxiety, and those types of mental anguish, mental disorders. And so that's pretty cool. I've heard, there had been studies previously that had showed that, maybe exercise worked just as well for some people as medication. And this showed basically broad trend, it showed that overall, on average, exercise helps more than, not just as good as or almost as good as, but more than counseling and medication. And the medication part is like really the biggest thing. So it works better than antidepressants, better than SSRIs. And anyone who works out on a regular basis kind of already knows this. I just finished my workout. I feel fantastic. And because what exercise does is it releases endorphins. It helps you sleep better. It gives you more confidence. Obviously, it makes you feel better physically. And if you feel better physically, you feel better mentally. That's pretty established science at this point. And the same goes the other way around. If you feel better mentally, you also feel better physically. So your mind and your body are very much connected in that way. And so, if you exercise and you feel better physically, you're going to feel better mentally. And, and if you're sleeping better because you're exercising, well, sleep is huge for mental well-being. And so yeah, I mean, it's pretty like, I think everyone who is in the fitness industry or who works out on a regular basis goes, well, yeah, of course it does. But this is kind of exciting that there's actually been a study on it, and maybe, doctors and psychologists and counselors will be more apt to, basically prescribe exercise for people that are experiencing depression and anxiety and stuff like that. So it is, even though people, are going, well, duh, then a lot of people in the medical field, in the sciences, need those studies to actually go, okay, yes, now I can, recommend these things. So it's good news. It's good news for people who, maybe are experiencing depression and, mood disorders and they don't want to go on medication, because these medications can have some major side effects, and whereas really the side effect of working out is looking better and feeling better. So like there's not really much of a downside, especially, if you do it correctly. If you don't do it correctly, obviously there's the potential for injury, but if you're doing it correctly, there's, not really much of a downside. Our bodies are meant to move, and our minds are meant for that as well. And it could be, I don't know exactly what kind of, I mean, you know, since it was a meta-analysis, they probably looked at all kinds of studies looking at, you know, different kinds of exercising and stuff. So yeah, and it probably was, you know, any as simple as going for a walk can, you know, and if that's where you start, that's where you start. And maybe, you know, you do more later on because you're feeling better. So yeah, it just, I think this just kind of is, you know, it's validation for people that are in the fitness industry going, you know, work out, you'll feel better. And people are like, I hate working out, but they always feel better when they do. You know, you get that sense of accomplishment that you don't get from taking a pill, you know, which makes you feel better. And so there's so many good points to it, so many good aspects to it. And, you know, I just wanted to point that out, that, you know, we can talk about it till we're blue in the face, but for a lot of people, until there's like scientific evidence, they just don't want to believe it. Or they maybe don't, not that they don't want to believe it, but they're not going to believe it until there's like actual scientific evidence for it. Well, now there is. So go work out. You'll feel better. There's evidence for it now. Real, you know, there's solid evidence for it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, share it, and subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow with another video. Bye.